7 times Jon Taffer almost physically assaulted someone on Bar Rescue. Before we start, I'd like you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Screen Orb. Jon Taffer has had to deal with a lot on Bar Rescue, and sometimes he gets a little too angry. We aren't blaming him though, because the owners he meets and speaks to are able to crawl under our skin even though we're not in direct contact with them. Number 1. The Sandbar.
I got a problem here. Look at the difference in color of these, John.
One thing viewers have learned is that nobody messes with Mrs. Taffer. While trying to convert this failing jazz bar into something that people would actually want to visit, Taffer had to put up with a very irritating OBGYN owner. Initially, his comments weren't too out of line and Taffer was dealing with him in true Jon fashion, but they proceeded to get more and more suggestive. What really got Taffer's blood boiling was when the owner made an inappropriate comment about his wife, and I think if the cameras hadn't been rolling, a full-on brawl would have erupted. You should have seen the look on Taffer's face. He was close to leaning over and landing a punch. Number 2. Canyon Inn.
A bikini bar teetering on the brink of failure.
What do you do when you're trying your hardest to help someone who refuses to take your advice? Taffer had to deal with some very difficult owners in Canyon Inn. Not only had they been serving canned soup to the customers, they were also hinting at Taffer's ideas being horrible. In what world is "please don't serve canned soup" a horrible idea? With all of his brilliant ideas being shot down, Taffer was somewhat irritable, which is understandable. Then, when they said once more that they would not stop serving their horrible canned soup, Taffer lost it. Instead of throwing a kick like everybody suspected though, he walked straight out. Number 3. Underground Wonder Bar.
This is my showtime walk.
This one is a story in which Taffer may have actually been in the wrong. The Underground Wonder Bar had been a huge music venue for over 2 decades until they moved into a preppier neighborhood in Chicago. A once bustling bar had been reduced to nothing, and Taffer's ideas seemed really strange. He wanted to make the bar all about bacon. Yes, you read that right. Gone were the tapestries and with them the culture. Now the vegan owner was being forced to serve bacon and play horrible music. When she'd finally had enough, she told him she didn't like some of his ideas, and Taffer seemed to be having a bad day because his eyes looked like he was ready to pounce. Number 4. The original Hideout.
And it all now on me. I gotta somehow pick up the slack for everything that Raul used to do for this bar, and he used to do a lot. 2
brothers knee-deep in debt and a Jon Taffer trying to get them back on their feet. What could possibly go wrong? If you've watched enough Bar Rescue, then you may have guessed. The brothers didn't appreciate the help and were very vocal about it. Usually Taffer would take this into consideration, but when these 2 boys have had no other chances at survival, maybe it isn't the time to blurt out their list of demands. How do you expect someone to give you a renovation when you literally have 0 money being kept for yourself? Taffer finally blew up when the 3rd brother ran away from the camera crew, possibly due to anxiety, and was inches close to smacking one of the owners on the head. Number 5. Pirates Tavern.
I'm gonna have to do something that I wasn't expecting to have to do.
Pirates Tavern, exactly what it sounds like, is a pirate-themed tavern complete with employees dressed as pirates. It looked and sounded like a discount version of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Taffer tried to make it more welcoming by transforming it into a sophisticated bar with a dress code that didn't involve pointy hats. Not only was the owner having none of it, none of the employees wanted to act normally. Everyone missed the craziness that was their pirate aspects. Taffer was surprised beyond belief because he'd assumed the workers would do anything to rid themselves of ridicule. When the employees claimed that they were quitting because of Taffer's changes, he couldn't cope and had to hold himself back when his fish tried to go flying. Number 6. Bacon Bar.
We are at the Bacon Bar.
I think Taffer has an affinity for bacon, because this is the 2nd bar on the list for which he developed a very bacon-filled menu. For this one, he even changed the name to include the word bacon, since he believes that that's a man's greatest indulgence. Throughout the entire episode, Taffer looked utterly disgusted with himself in the bar, and although he tried staying civil, he and the owner did not get along. He even complained that he wanted to vomit on said owner as well as the employees, and when the owner used a choice word to respond with, Taffer was not having it. Number 7. Portland's Tonic.
Because right now, you see their faces? Are they happy? Okay, so what can you do about it? Because you gotta do something.
Taffer was greeted by one of the worst bands he's ever heard of in an empty room. Doesn't that sound like the intro to a disaster episode? It sure does. After working heavily on the branding of this bar as well as changing the name to the Panic Room, Taffer was enraged when he heard how the employees were essentially ruining the bar's reputation by answering the telephones with inappropriate language. He blew up on them, and there was huge screaming matches, which ended in Taffer having to leave for a breather. Those people are lucky he has good control over his temper, because the fury radiating off of him could have scared anybody. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss out on any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are currently on your screen, because I'm sure you'll love them. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.